Hello everyone, back here on the PS5, and this time with Crimson Desert. I purchased this a couple of days after it came out. I was hoping to have got some videos for you before that, or before today, but YouTube hasn't been playing ball in terms of uploads, or in terms of actually rendering videos correctly. But here we are, and I'm absolutely in love with this game. Just look at this. Look at this. Take it in. Oh my god. Evening sun. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely captivated me. It's such an intriguing, beautiful world. Incredibly detailed in terms of the craftsmanship. And mostly, actually, what stands out to me is the amount of interaction it allows. I can interact with pretty much anything I want in the world. I feel that they've really put the player at the center of the experience. You can do whatever you want in whichever way you want, and you can play the game in whichever way you want as well. If you want it to be combat focused, fine. If you want it to focus on crafting, fine. If you want to just play mini games, no problem. If you want to enjoy cooking and collecting stuff, that's fine. If you want to do trading, go for it. If you want to concentrate on like power play and expand your almost like your tribe across the continent, then go for it. You know, if you want to follow the main quest, great. Side quests, great. Bounty hunting, fine. It's just there's so many things to do. And you think in a game like this that it would end up being almost like jack of all trades, master of none, but it's absolutely not. Everything works. That's the shocking thing. Everything works, and it's such a fun, complete experience. And the mechanics feel great. In lots of these games, sometimes you'll have to compromise with stuff. Combat feels great. Movement feels great. Some of the mechanics I show you later feel amazing. And that kind of player feedback is key in games like this in terms of kind of keeping you immersed in something, or for me anyway, keeping me kind of engaged. I've never felt bored in this game, put it that way. Whenever I've logged on, there's always something to do, something to explore. Like this. Can find things at every nook and cranny. There's always something to look at. And the fact that you can kind of go anywhere you want in this kind of world, it's unbelievable. You know, it's just, the scale is huge. Some people were kind of complaining about that. Like, why the hell would you complain about scale in a sandbox game? I mean, the bigger the better as far as I'm concerned, because it just gives you that kind of feeling of just immersion, and that you could spend days and probably years enjoying this game because there'll still be things that you haven't found out before. Okay, here we got some bandits, so let's show you, I guess, some combat. We'll get our mace and our shield out.
Now you get yours.
Do some nice little wrestling moves. Nice. The combat feels great and is really good fun. They've managed to kind of reach a really good compromise and a fine line between it not being overly arduous, but also having enough depth that it allows you to kind of come up with your own kind of almost fighting style and combos, which I feel I'm only scratching the surface on. I'm close to 100 hours on it, roughly. And I still feel like I'm just literally just scratching the surface. You know, I'm still kind of learning how to do things, and I haven't really looked at kind of chaining things together as fluidly as I would like. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But this is my favorite mechanic. Look at this. Whoever decided to put this in this game should have a pay rise for the rest of their life. Because I never get tired of it. And look, a bandit camp. Perfect for us to engage in some more combat.
You've had this coming a bastard long time.
Let's see if we can throw someone off the cliff.
Like a bag of blood.
Almost.
You're the one getting hurt today. Like a bag of blood. Wonder what's in your pockets.
Oh, almost. Oh, trying to get me with the poison. So again, there's so many ways in which to approach combat. You've got the kind of almost like grapples and fist fighting, kicks, and then you have all these kind of different, almost like slightly futuristic sci-fi movesets. Because this is about almost like two different worlds. You have the world down here, and then there's like a completely different world up in the sky, which I'll show you in a minute. So obviously you've got elements of that, of those kind of ancient artifacts within your arsenal. So let's go for it again in terms of favorite mechanic of all time. It's just such a cool way to traverse the world. And I love the fact that people react to you, you know? When you come down from the sky, people turn around to have a look. They'll look up and react to this thing just swooping down. So the middle square is my kind of stamina. So I'm just a bit low now, so I was just having a bit of free fall for it to come back. So that's the thing you need to be mindful of. I know there's been some people saying that, you know, they weren't too keen with the stamina getting depleted when not in combat. So when you run, it still goes down. So I do understand that, and who knows, maybe they'll change that in future. But it also depends about what kind of experience developers wanted to give you in this game. And maybe having that element to it, it means that they kind of force your hand a little bit to kind of explore the game at a certain pace and not to always just rush through absolutely everything. But exploration and just seeing the world is just one of my favorite things. And you have so many fields of view in which to play this game as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can play it just like Skyrim if you want. So cool. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some of the scenery now. So we've seen a bit of the night time. So you can see on the left is like almost 11:30 at night. Stunning. The textures are beautiful, by the way. The water, and especially like things like the mountains, beautiful, beautiful textures. So let's go to I'll show you the map actually before we go to our main camp. So all the kind of bright white section is what I've kind of explored so far. So that's almost, you know, almost 100 hours worth of just exploration. And by exploration, I mean I haven't found everything there is in there. I've just kind of been there. But then there's all this. It's massive. It's massive. And even just the starting area, which is this section here, Hanand, some games would be proud to call that their world. You know, that's how big this is. It's probably got like the equivalent of four open worlds in kind of one as part of its kind of map. It's unbelievable. And I love that kind of ambition and that scale. And in my opinion, from what I've played so far, they definitely pulled it off. So let's find our main camp, which is up here, I believe. And then we will rest there. And then you'll get to see it a bit kind of during daytime also, which I think is also really kind of beautiful scenery, beautiful lighting. So this kind of mechanic of the camp is really interesting as well. You know, we start with like a couple of like a hardly, you know, you start from nothing to then building it up almost to like a little economy. And you can do like, it sounds like there's loads of trading and different things which I haven't even scratched the surface on. You can kind of, you know, push on across the rest of the peninsula to kind of take control over different areas. So it's within the game itself, there seems to be just so many sub sections and different ways in which you can play the game, which I'm really impressed about. You know, they've crammed a lot in, but they've made it really really coherent. So here we are, so almost 6 a.m. and have a look at this. Wow. Look at that. This world has just been jaw-dropping for me. It's given me a sense of wonder and it's completely captivated me. I haven't felt like this, I think, since I first played Skyrim. I mean, it's been mind-blowing to play it. Let's go down towards that bridge section. We can accelerate our flight, do a little roll if we want to. Uses up more stamina, obviously. And there we are. Such a cool way to traverse the world. And everything within the world you can interact with in some way or another. And this maybe is why one of the criticisms that's been leveled at this game has been the controls. People saying like they're overly complicated, quite cumbersome. I've actually found them okay. They have packed a lot in, but you have to pay a lot of attention. You need to read the tutorials. You need to practice a bit because every button has a lot of functionality. So whether you single press, maybe you kind of press it down for a certain amount of time to full press, and depending whether you're close to something or not close to something, it does different things. So you need to be very aware, I guess, and very conscious about what you're doing with the controls. And it's also not a lot of hand-holding in terms of, for example, some of the puzzles. It doesn't give you an obvious, like, pick this glowing thing up here, put it in that gap, that massive glowing gap over there, and therefore you'll solve the puzzle. But I really like that. I like the fact that they try and get you to think for yourself. They don't kind of show you something obvious to just simply like where puzzles just become tick box exercises. They actually become puzzles where you need to kind of sit back and think a little bit like, oh, what's the pattern here? What does this mean? And I really appreciate that personally. Some people might find it frustrating, but I really enjoy that side of it. I think it's really cool. And as you can see there, horses, you can find horses in the wild, you can tame them, then they become your horses. So I'm going to call mine now. We'll do a little bit of horse riding up to there. And the horse riding is done really well, in my opinion. Sometimes in games it can be like one of those weird jerky things that doesn't feel quite right. It feels and looks very natural here. And that's one thing the game does really well. The feel, the player feedback in lots of the actions is just really cool and just works. I feel like I'm doing all the things that my character is doing, which I think is a big, it's just a big plus. And I guess a big shout out to the developers for nailing that. That's one of the things that can sometimes make or break a game in terms of immersion and how close you feel to the world and close you feel to the experiences that you're having in that. So we come down from this and I'll show you again the different points of view, but out in the daytime. So you also have like a bit of a stealth element, which is pretty cool. So they've added that into the game as well. But yeah, points of view. That's our palm there. That's the kind of special kind of power hit that you can do. Some of the moves are a bit like, you know, almost kung fu style, you know. So that's the second point of view, third, fourth, and then fifth. full-on Skyrim. And when you go into combat, I think it narrows it down to maybe 3 or 4 points of view. So still loads of different ways to play the game, which I think is just so much fun. So in terms of some of the powers that you saw there, so you saw me doing that kind of slightly kind of almost kung fu-like power bash. You can also kind of do the kind of slowing down time, and then you can kind of almost deflect attacks by doing that. There's so many things to unlock, you know, like that pose. So you see the game and you think it's like a medieval kind of, you know, old school thing, and it is, but it's got all these other genres maxed into it. There's a bit of like almost martial arts. There's a lot of kind of sci-fi stuff. There's the kind of traversal like you saw. It's so cool. And this is all happening currently in this kind of world down here. But there's 2 worlds in this game. So if we go back to the map, then we press R3. It takes you to the world up in the sky called the Abyss. So, which I haven't uncovered loads of it at all. But look, I mean, again, I haven't got a clue if it's as big as the... It probably is as big as the map, you know, on the ground. I mean, it's insane. And this has got its own kind of feel and rhythm to it. It seems to be more puzzle-based from what I've seen so far, but I've only been scratching the surface on it. But this is where a lot of those kind of ancient artifacts, kind of more sci-fi element comes into it, as you can see from the architecture and the different kind of things, you know, those kind of beams in the sky. This is where you can get some of that kind of almost like ancient / futuristic knowledge and mechanics from. It's a bit like what Horizon Zero Dawn did with the kind of those kind of artifacts as well. So it has that kind of slight feel to it, in my opinion. But it just works really well. So one of the cool things that you get as part of these kind of powers, you get this kind of grappling hook, where at a certain distance you can kind of grab onto any surface, and then you can kind of jump onto it. You can climb onto it. This game allows you to interact with any surface in the game, which is so cool. So many games would have you down as out of bounds for certain things, or, you know, there's no way you can get up there, whatever. No, there's a surface, you can get up there with this game. So let's have a look again. See if we can grab onto that ledge. I'm just messing around here just to show you a little bit how Cliff scales things. And obviously you can scale mountains this way, you know? You can just go up in whichever way you want. So actually, let's see if we can grapple again. That might be the best way. Oh my god, I've never actually been up here. I just thought I'd try it to kind of show you. Oh my god. And the view from up here is absolutely insane. And you can go anywhere. Anywhere in this world you can go to. You can get to, you can scale, you can go up with Cliff up those mountains just like I did here. Or we can just skydive down. And you pass through the dimensions almost like you're going through the atmosphere between the top section, and then you come up closer to the actual world, and you can go anywhere. Look at that. Look at that. Fast fall. Okay, let's do a fast fall. We're going to torpedo down. It feels amazing. Then we'll glide. We'll accelerate our glide. Okay, we'll do a roll. We decide where we land. Stamina's running out a bit, so we can kind of just stay in the sky a bit. We'll free fall a little bit more. Bring the cloak up again. It's just such a glorious way to explore this beautiful, beautiful world. So, unsurprisingly, from what I've played so far, I can't but not recommend this game. I think Pearl Abyss has done a stellar job in amalgamating so many different mechanics and so many different things into one coherent package. They've already patched the game on PS5, I think, 3 times already. There's been 3 different updates. This, in 6 months to a year, is going to be any kind of hiccups you might have with it will have been smoothed out. Believe me, they're listening to player feedback. I think they're going to add like difficulty levels. They're going to add some kind of other elements in terms of control customization to kind of make it a bit easier in terms of those people that are struggling with the controls. I think this is going to be the first game of a masterpiece series of games. I think in 10 years' time, we'll be looking back and saying to each other, do you remember when Crimson Desert launched? Because now we've got Crimson Desert 3 and it's amazing. But do you remember the first one? I think this is just the start of something really, really special. I think we're witnessing the start of a new series of games that is ambitious. It's doing something different. It's not scared to try different things. It's not scared to try and give you everything and letting you free to do with it what you will. I feel like they've really put the player at the center of the experience because it's all about how you want to play it. There's no kind of pressure to do things. I've been doing bits and bobs of the main quest, but to be honest, I've been doing a lot of just going off and just doing whatever the hell I fancy. I like booting it up and just going in and just wandering around like I'm doing now. Walking around, not rushing anywhere, just taking stuff in, seeing stuff in the horizon and saying, I wonder what's there actually. Or I wonder what's there in that, at the top of that mountain, I can see some kind of houses there. Maybe I'll go and explore. And you can do it at your own pace. And you can make it the game that you want it to be. And I personally think that's really special. So I'm going to see if we can find some other kind of combat to have. So then you're able to kind of see another bout of fighting. But for that, we'll just have to wander around and see what we can find. So this is like a little fishing hamlet. That's another thing you can do. You can do fishing as well. So you can just like chill out, catch some fish, cook it, enjoy the fact that you can maybe find some kind of rare fish, maybe sell it. You know, you can just be a trader, I guess, if you want. There's absolutely no pressure at all to do anything if you don't want to. So let's just wander up here. Stamina's running out a little bit. Comes back relatively quickly though. Oh, I just find it so relaxing, but also really alive. And that's a huge props to the developers for putting things in place that kind of give you something back. Everything is rewarded, in my opinion. It feels really special. My horse? I think that's my horse. Oh yeah, that's where I left it before. How funny that I've kind of come back to almost the same place. Let's build up our stamina again first. Okay, let's float down here. Oh, so beautiful. They've done a stellar job with the texture design, I must say. I love it. And I can imagine like on a PS5 Pro and like with a really good television, this game would probably look like jaw-dropping. It looks amazing already on my pretty box standard TV that I've got and a base PS5. Well, another thing I forgot to mention, there's lots of things in the world that you can also pick up using this thing called Nature's Grip. Then you can hold it, and you can slam it, you can place it, you can drop it. So if you've got enemies, you can just go, and then it breaks into pieces so that you can pick up for like timber. Gonna go a bit faster with it. Let's place it this time. Oh, that's another slam. Ah, there we go. Some bandits. We'll do the palm. Absolutely decimated them. They still didn't stand a chance. So that again is that kind of that's the extra kind of power that I've got, you know, in terms of some of that force palm. And you can see like the skill tree, it's really, really comprehensive. So if you go to skills, you've got all the bits here to do with kind of your weapons. You've got this to do with like elemental stuff, and then you got flight. And this is the section to do with that palm action that I did, which is kind of your focus kind of skills, your force palm. That's what I use then. And yeah, there's just so much to get into in terms of skills and combos, I feel as well. I don't feel I've barely touched that. And I've got to say, another criticism that gets leveled at it a lot is about the story. People say that the story is terrible, dialogue is terrible, it's awful. I actually haven't found it like that at all. I actually found it quite well done. Quite captivating. I really appreciated the cutscenes. It's kind of kept me very engaged. So I personally haven't felt like that at all. So let's go through here. Let's explore this a little bit more. Oh, this was a mining settlement. When I fought the enemies here, it felt like thousands. I mean, it was an epic battle. It just went on forever. And another thing that you can do, so with this grappling hook here, which I love, is this. Check this out. What a cool way to traverse the world, or actually land in a camp of some sort. I mean, the surprise on the bandits' faces when I kind of come in from the air, just kind of parachuting myself into their territory, is just absolutely hilarious, but also so cool. Ah, oh, look at this, they're so beautiful. That's what I mean about traversing the world in so many different ways. So you see the tree over there? Okay, well, let's see if we can grab onto it. Are we? Yeah, we're close enough. Then your stamina loads again. Okay, we'll go again. Just get this game, guys. You know, even if you're not a fan of this type of game, I think you'd find enough in here to kind of keep you entertained. I think it's amazing. I can't not recommend it. And I know this has been a bit of an odd video. I've just been rambling on and kind of just doing whatever. But it's the kind of game that encourages me to just do whatever and take my time and just enjoy the surroundings and enjoy what it has to offer. And I really appreciate it for that. So I can't wait to explore it more. I can't wait to kind of just see what else it has to offer as I go uncovering more skills, more, you know, mechanics. And oh, I just can't wait to explore more of the world as well. I mean, all the stuff that I've seen already is just up to a certain depth. There's so much more to see. So thanks again for watching. Sorry about the rambling, but I had to make a video about Crimson Desert because I'm enjoying it so much, and I think it would be a travesty if you don't get to experience these kind of beautiful views and this beautiful world for yourself. So thanks again for watching, and catch you all very soon.